I'm sitting here watching the Montreal Canadiens pregame in Washington. Habs versus Caps, game number 2. It is on right in front of my face, on my TV screen, and I decided to make a video about the Vancouver Canucks instead, because we need to talk about this. It's a pretty reasonable update on the Elias Pettersson trade situation. Because leave it to Rick Dollywall and Donnie and Dolly to go out there and get the scoop. Yesterday, we spoke about how Patrik Allvin pretty much said that he cannot, in good conscience, ignore any Elias Pettersson trade conversations. He said he would be stupid to not keep his options open. This was one of many things that Vancouver Canucks management said on Monday about Elias Pettersson. Noah Strang has all of the quotes here, so big shout out over to him. Rutherford said that Pettersson has been working hard every day for the last few days. That's what we like to see. That's a good sign. We still believe Elias Pettersson is more than capable of coming back, says Allvin. It's encouraging to see his determination and work ethic over the past few days. There's a lot of players in the NHL that play through different injuries, Patrik Allvin said when asked about Pettersson's tendinitis. Part of being a pro player is that you have resources to handle things differently. As of now, Elias is healthy. So, there's a lot of Pettersson talk from Monday's presser, but the comments about Pettersson not being totally off the trade block, that was the big deal that everybody was bringing up. And it was actually responded to today by J.P. Barry, PD's agent, on Donnie and Dolly earlier this morning. This is what he said on the possibility of the Canucks trading Pettersson this offseason. I'm not really surprised. It's a business. But PD is planning a big offseason. He is super determined to have a great season next year. And that's it. That's all we gotta go out there and look at. But I wanted to have a bit of a conversation here about PD and just some of the weird optics surrounding this entire situation here. Because normally, call me out if I'm wrong here, but normally, when a player signs an 11-point-something million AAV deal, you generally believe in that guy. Right? You like the player, you believe in the player, you think he brings value to your team, and so you give him $11.6 million a year. Why did you give him that money? Because he's already proven to you that he's earned it. You wouldn't give that money to a guy that you don't think deserves it, right? So, thinking about what happened last season, Pettersson has a crazy year. He is tied for first in the NHL in points with Miller and Hughes for a decent part of October or November or whatever it was. Like 30 points they had, and they were all number 1, 2, 3 in the NHL in overall points. Pettersson has this crazy year with JT Miller, with Quinn Hughes. Then he signs the big contract, and then he starts to falter off a little bit. He says himself that maybe a lot of that has to do with the own expectations that he has, that he all of a sudden has more pressure. He's not making $7 million anymore. He's making 11. And so this is now showtime. He has to be the guy. And he forces himself internally to be that guy. It's so weird to me how Canucks management's response to Pettersson's down second half of the year was to tell Miller, of all people, hey, we got to get PD going. So in order for us to help him do that, we're going to get JT Miller to get onto this guy's behind and start forcing him to be better. Bruce Boudreau said it best on TSN Overdrive. Miller and Pettersson are so different personality-wise that you could not, in any sort of good conscience, tell Pettersson that the best way for him to move forward is to get trained and talked to by Miller. Total opposite sides of the spectrum here. They can't play PlayStation together, stuff like that. So to see Canucks management give this guy the money and then be disappointed so much by the end of the season he had to the point that they told Miller to be the guy to drive him forward, that's interesting to me. And then to see the Canucks struggle and Pettersson struggle even more this previous season, Part of it is due to injury, part of it is due to the rift with Miller, which happened because Canucks management told Miller to be the guy to force Pettersson to be better. And now it's to a point where he has this terrible season. He's at 45 points. You can't be getting 45 points when you're making $11.6 million a year. That's just not going to cut it at all. But a lot of the sentiments from this management is like, oh, Pettersson needs to get better. He needs to do this, and we believe he can get better. It's all Pettersson, 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 Pettersson. I kind of wonder, I'm like, is that confidence that we know the Canucks management had for Pettersson last year when they gave him the contract, is that confidence still there? If they were to renegotiate the deal, let's say Pettersson didn't sign a contract last year, and he ended off the season in the way that he did, he played the 24-25 season in the way that he did, let's say he did everything exactly the same. That might be a fallacy in logic, because you can say, oh yeah, but part of the reason Pettersson sucked in the second half of last season, and for a good chunk of this season, is because of the expectations, because of the contract. So let's just assume that he played the same way, without the contract. Would Allvin and Rutherford still be as confident as they were in this guy to give him 11.6? Probably not, right? We can definitely tell from the language and the way that these guys are talking about Pettersson, they know that he underperformed. They know that he can be better. And maybe for the purpose of saving face, they're going out there and saying all the right things in the media. Yeah, we believe in Pettersson. We know he can be as good as he can be, and we want him to stay here, and we know that we have the resources to help him and do all this stuff, etc., etc. But in my heart of hearts, I have a hard time believing that they fully believe in him. I don't know. That's just my regular old inclination. So, for the agent to go out there and say, yeah, I'm not surprised that they're not shutting the door on an Elias Pettersson trade, I'm not surprised. That just seems like the logical way to view this situation, right? And as long as Pettersson acknowledges that he has to get back to that gear, he has to be a 100-point player to even have a chance of carrying this Canucks team in the ways that an $11.6 million AAV player should be able to. I mean, I do kind of wonder how much of this is going to be impacted by the coaching decision, and if maybe the pressure is getting a little bit too hot on this guy. If pressure is all there is to it, let's ignore the injury for now. Let's just talk about pressure. Pettersson with the pressure and the contract and the media and the fans, and everybody's so hockey crazy in Vancouver that everybody criticizes Pettersson when he doesn't do well. A part of me wonders, is he fit for this Vancouver environment? There's always going to be a ton of pressure. Now he's the top paid guy on the team. He was the best player on the team like 2 years ago when he had 100 points and Kuzmenko had 39 goals. He was definitely the best player on the team that year. But if now the pressure is getting a little bit too hot, I kind of wonder, is he going to be able to handle that into the next few years? He has signed on for a long time. And I think for Canucks management, they also have to internally debate amongst themselves, is that a conversation worth having? Is that a thought worth provoking? Is this the right situation for both the Canucks and for Elias Pettersson himself? So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is Elias Pettersson capable of handling the spotlight in the same way a Quinn Hughes is? Is he capable of bouncing back? Do you think he will bounce back? Do you think that his season this previous year was more so a symptom of the JT Miller conflict, or was it really the injury, or was it just him falling off? A lot of conversations to be had about this EP40 11.6. Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. I gotta go back to watching this Montreal and Washington game. Game 2, baby. It's live and it's tied. And bye.